Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Clark.
I'm Kim Christensen. A Denver police officer is suspended after being accused of leading a state trooper on a high-speed chase when he was off duty. A fellow officer was in the passenger seat.
Court documents claim the pursuit was all to avoid getting caught committing another crime. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause is in Denver with details. Rachel?
Yeah, Christopher Thomas was arrested last Friday. The arrest affidavit breaks down what happened on that night in October, claiming that he sped off when a trooper was trying to pull him over while going over 100 on I-70 and avoiding troopers once again after they tracked him down. Denver police officer Christopher Thomas is out on bond after being arrested Friday for felony eluding and reckless endangerment that allegedly happened when he was off duty with a fellow officer in the car with him. But this all started 6 weeks earlier, on October 23rd. According to Thomas's arrest affidavit, a Colorado State trooper was parked on Highway 58 in Jeffco when a pickup truck sped past going 102 in a 65-mile-an-hour zone. The trooper took off after the truck, catching up on I-70. The affidavit says he got behind the truck, but it accelerated aggressively. Court records say the trooper dropped the pursuit because they were going over 100 on I-70 with traffic on the interstate, but they got the plate. Troopers later tracked the truck down, but the driver took off again when they spotted CSP. The next morning, court records show a Denver police officer reached out to a fellow officer asking for a sergeant's number because, quote, Chris was an idiot and eluded officers trying to stop him, while she was in the passenger seat saying things were bad. That other officer reported it herself to DPD. According to the affidavit, the officer in the car was texting with one of Thomas's family members during the chase. The family member told her, quote, they should report the truck stolen in the morning. And Christopher can't get caught up tonight drinking at all because alcohol and the car don't mix. Later texting the officer, quote, I think the DUI would have been worse. Court records show the family member told them to leave the truck, ordering them an Uber to her house. Thomas was arrested last week and quickly bonded out. According to DPD, Thomas is suspended without pay while the criminal case plays out. As for the officer that was with him, DPD says she's working in a non-patrol assignment. Denver police say there will be an internal investigation after the criminal case wraps up. Formal charges against Thomas have not yet been filed. The DA's office says that'll happen in the coming days. Thomas is expected in court next Monday. Reporting live in Denver, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Sunny and mild start to the week, highs in the mid-50s, and looking ahead, we'll keep an eye on high wind warnings for the mountains and foothills through tomorrow. Let's bring in 9 News meteorologist Kathy Sabin for more on that.
Not a lot of wind yet.
Until we see the wind?
Yeah, not a lot yet. It's like the calm before the wind, and it's coming. We'll enjoy a quiet couple of hours because once midnight comes, the wind's really going to get going, especially in the western suburbs and at the base of the foothills, which presented us with a lovely sunset tonight. This picture in from Sasha Parker up in the Timnath area. Pretty picture in the skies over Colorado. Relatively calm downtown. Temperatures still comfortable. As Kyle mentioned, temperatures in the 50s today. We're 43 still in Denver. 32 in Steamboat, already 9 above zero in Gunnison. The wind is not a big story in Denver or along the Front Range, but starting to pick up north of Fort Collins near Buckeye. We have a gust of 47 miles per hour across Loveland Pass and also up toward Dumont, and this will be the trend as the overnight hours progress. High wind warning for gusts to 80 miles per hour. High wind watch west of I-25, including Fort Collins for gusts to 60 and 70 miles per hour. This weather system tracking from the northwest into the state will bring a little bit of mountain snow. Moisture with wind will create some blowing snow and could create some problems on I-70. Denver relatively quiet overnight. Temperatures stay relatively mild. And then we have to talk about that wind. Details on that and when Denver might see the next round of snow.
After deadly shootings, a child falling from a 7th-story ledge, and an accusation of sex assault by an employee, Denver decided someone other than the Salvation Army should run the city's homeless shelters. So tonight, City Council approved a $30 million contract with a new nonprofit to come in and run that hotel shelter on Quebec. 9 News reporter Spencer Soyshers along from City Hall. And Spencer, city leaders' options were limited here.
Yeah, the city says only 3 organizations applied for this. The contract ultimately went to Urban Alchemy. The mayor's office said they had extensive talks with them and that they feel confident that Urban Alchemy is the right partner to go forward with. The city council, not so sure about that.
And you might think, well, it's not the Salvation Army, so it's better than nothing. Bullshit.
Is better than nothing enough?
I am sick of that mentality from my community.
City Council member Chantel Lewis is not happy. The city of Denver went fishing after it decided the Salvation Army shouldn't be running its hotel-turned-shelters anymore. A $30 million contract dangling on the line for someone to run the shelter at the old DoubleTree Hotel on Quebec.
I understand why there's been, a limited interest in taking on this challenge.
It netted just 3 applicants, including the organization Urban Alchemy. They'd start 3 weeks from now.
We deserve better, and this is not giving us better.
Lewis voted against allowing the organization to run the shelter. Urban Alchemy is from the Bay Area. It's been around less than 10 years, but has no shortage of legal issues and accusations, like falsifying data on people coming and going from shelters and knowingly overspending hundreds of thousands of dollars on employee pay bumps.
My concern is that we are out of options.
Denver City Council member Amanda Sawyer believes she had to vote to approve this contract.
The other option appears to be putting people back out on the street in the middle of winter again.
A city backing into an agreement with Urban Alchemy is not new. Take the mayor of Austin, Texas in 2022.
This is a really bad situation, and we don't have a really good option and choice because we don't have enough time to really develop one.
They signed on. Then, Austin recently fired Urban Alchemy for falsifying data.
In the future, we want to be accountable and transparent and be judged on the merits of the work that we're doing.
When it was time to vote,
what happens if this contract is voted down?
The council members felt they didn't have a choice.
We would have no operator for the site. There is no scenario in which we would be able to contract with another provider at this point.
9 ayes, Council Resolution 1883 has been adopted.
They voted to approve the contract. Urban Alchemy says that they've made mistakes in the past and they've cut ties with the employees who made those mistakes. And one of the other issues tonight is that Urban Alchemy actually went ahead and hired about 70 employees here in the area before this contract was actually approved. The city council members were concerned about what would happen to those people who are relying on a new job if this contract wasn't approved. Live in Denver, Spencer Soysher, 9 News.
A man accused of randomly shooting 3 people in Aurora is expected to be committed to a mental health facility. Doctors found 36-year-old Austin Benson incompetent to stand trial on charges stemming from the shooting in the summer of 2024. It wasn't the first time he'd been accused of doing something like that. In 2018, prosecutors charged him with attempted murder after he was accused of randomly shooting at people along a road in Douglas County. He was found incompetent in that case, too. A judge dismissed the charges, which was required by state law, and Benson walked free. In this new case, the charges are again expected to be dismissed, but this time Benson won't walk free. His attorney says the plan is to have him held indefinitely in a mental health facility.
This is unprecedented. It's creative, and what it does is protect the public and ensure that Benson will actually receive treatment.
Benson is due back in court next month. The plan could be finalized by then. A coroner's report confirms a 20-year-old woman who was missing for 4 days died after crashing into a canal in northern Colorado. Kaylee Russell's body was recovered from Timnath last Thursday. She'd been reported missing the Sunday before. She'd gotten a flat tire. Her father met her at the Loveland Johnston Park and Ride to help put a donut on her car. Afterward, she was headed to a friend's house in Pierce, but she never arrived. The coroner reported her cause of death as the combined effects of blunt force injuries and exposure to the cold.
The man accused of killing a dog breeder in Idaho Springs and stealing his puppies pleaded guilty today. Sergio Ferrer had already admitted to shooting Paul Peavy, but claimed it was self-defense. A community-organized search party found Peavy's body in a shallow grave on the man's property in Clear Creek County August of last year. 10 of his Doberman puppies were also missing. Court documents show that Ferrer tried to sell the puppies on social media. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and robbery charges and is scheduled to be sentenced next month. Douglas County is considering fining corporations that fail to report shoplifting. Commissioners will talk about it at their meeting tomorrow. The ordinance would punish corporations like Walmart or Target for knowingly not reporting retail crime within 4 days of it happening. It would also impose fines for knowingly not keeping video or pictures that could be used as evidence. The fines would be up to $50 a day for each day a crime's not reported, with fines capped at $1,000. The ordinance says it is meant to, quote, prevent corporate conduct that facilitates or promotes crime.